Yeah, he's there. Oh, what's going on there? Oh, something's going on with the screen. Don't know why. I'll bring it back up. All right. How's everyone doing? Just sorting that screen out. We can see Rob now. Good. Rob, how are you? I'm good. Now, let me just see. I think your thing's not coming through. I'll just... Now, if you... Rob, I can hear you now. All right, there we go. How are you? All right. Back to the first question. How you doing?
Good. Let me just
Good. That's good.
a little bit.
All right, so how's it going, everyone? Welcome to finally we get to review some fixtures. So that's a good thing. We got some in the house. John says Kane is Hess. Chris says Kane is a traitor. Well, can you really call him a traitor? I mean, we're going to talk about it more, but he scored over 200 goals for you. It's, what can you do? But we will talk about that for sure. But it's really good to that we finally get to talk about some fixtures, and we got two massive transfers to talk about as well. I put them on the thumbnail. But what'd you make of the first weekend in short, Rob?
I tell you, it was interesting. Just if anyone can't hear me, let me know. But few surprises, few expectations. Haaland's back after 1 goal in 9 games. He's back. Ange's baptism of fire, I suppose. Chelsea, Liverpool, great to see it all back. It's great.
Yeah, I agree. The Chelsea-Liverpool one I thought was real interesting. And it was good to see Ange, it was good to see an Australian, from our point of view, coaching in the Premier League. I have to say that. That was really good. It's... I don't know, you get this feeling that they don't want him to do good. That's what but I don't know. Who knows?
I reckon the other... let me just try and adjust this camera a little bit.
You're right.
I want to make sure you see this.
We don't know. I reckon go up higher. But yeah, well, first game we can touch on. That was the first game of the round. Obviously, City were expected to win, but 3-0 against Burnley. Haaland's, I think it was his second goal, was a cracker in the box. He ripped the top corner. De Bruyne injured there. I don't know what that does for City. He got injured earlier. Don't know how long he's out for. But what'd you make of your boys?
I know Pep's trying to play Alvarez and Haaland. I think he's transferring to 3-2-3-2. I don't know whether he's got the right mix in there at all. But Foden was, again, embarrassingly selfish. He was awful. But with no Diaz, no Stones. But they looked solid. They didn't look like they're ever going to get breached. It was just a matter of goals at the other end. So I was impressed, actually. A solid performance.
Yeah, I thought they played well. John says he's sick of City. I think everyone bar City fans are sick of them at the moment. But no, yeah, I watched it. I mean, you know what? I actually think, I believe, I don't know, and even in the predictions, I think I did it too. I put them up a bit high. I think a lot of people have put Burnley up a lot higher than they might finish. They with the championship teams, it's very weird. They come up and they try to play their way, and within a couple of weeks, they get a spanking, and they've had one in round 1, and then they revert to a way they don't know how to play, and then they end up getting relegated. So I don't know. I don't know what company's going to do. I'd like them to stay up, to be honest, but City, of course, they were going to be, if they weren't dominant against Burnley. I mean, like I said, Man United, we played them last year in the Cup, and we beat them 4-0, I think. It was at home, but so you're expecting City to beat them, and it was pretty comfortable. I agree with. There was a lot of people. You're not the first person I've heard say that Foden's not up to scratch. A lot of people have been saying it. I've heard it over the past couple of days that he's not up to scratch and hasn't been up to scratch for a while, and that in England terms, youngsters like Saka are leaving him behind.
Yes,
I heard that comment today.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, so Childo says, gotta love the ads. He says, hey KP and Dr Laz, how are yous? I'm good. Dr. Laz is always good, he has no emotion. But yeah, John, no surplus to requirements here, John. They're talking about their show last night. But yeah, I mean, Foden, it's amazing, isn't it? He's so young, won so much, like at club level. But I'll tell you what, we'll talk about it soon. I watched the Arsenal game as we watched it together. I was doing the watch along. You were in the chat.
Yeah.
Saka is ahead of him, I think. And that goal Saka scored, we'll get onto it, was a cracker too. But yeah, I mean, business as usual for City. We'll talk about their fixtures coming up, who they got this week and that. But, you expected them to win. But yeah, so the next game, Arsenal. That was the first game of the weekend. And like I said, I watched it. You were in the chat with me. That wasn't as comfortable, I didn't think. They were on top. I mean, they had 80% possession, but Nottingham Forest had the best chances. And like we said, one of the goals was a cracker.
I mean, Arsenal came out like a bull at the gate. Bang, a goal, bang, a goal. What was it, 85% possession at one point?
Yeah, something like that. It was ridiculous.
Insane. And I thought, yeah, we're going to see they're going to go on with it. And they sat back and stoned Cooper, as I call him.
Yeah.
Coach must have said something, because Arsenal could have blown it the second half.
Well, I mean, Nottingham Forest had the first real chance of the game early, which was, I mean, you expect him to score, and he I don't know how he fluffed that, and then yeah, Elanga came on and burnt their right hand side, like we were talking about.
Yeah.
But like when you break it down, I mean, Saka scored a peach of a goal. You take that goal out of it, it's a 1-1 game.
Yeah.
So John is laughing with you, man. He reckons he does look stoned. He does. He always looks stoned, that guy. Cooper. Is it Cooper, isn't it? That's what it is. Cooper. He always looks out of it, yeah. And he reckons Saka has a gun. Yeah, Saka is good. So I was watching Rio Ferdinand's podcast today, and they asked him, if you're coming up against that player as a defender, I asked you, a defender, like, what do you do? And Ferdinand said, I'll talk to my defenders before the game and tell them I'm going to push him to the line no matter what, because him putting a cross in is better than him getting a shot off.
Absolutely.
And it's like they're not, I mean, I agree with Ferdinand. That's what I think is right. But from a defender's point of view, you agree with that?
You niggle him. You have to me, that's the type of player, if, let's say he's quicker than me.
That's what Ferdinand said.
I've got to come in so he doesn't see me. Like, standing next to him won't work.
Yeah.
I just keep my distance, and when I get on his blind side, and then get in and hit him and force him. You're right. Force him out wide. Let him get a cross in, because I trust the guys behind me.
Yeah, that's what I think. I mean, if a guy goes out wide, whips a cross in, then a striker still has to do his business to score a goal. Whereas if he cuts in, he's proven it's a bit of his trademark, that come in, curler, he can do it. And obviously Nottingham Forest were punished for it, but...
And you tell your teammates, you say, look, I'm not going to let him cut inside. 5 yards behind me, unless there's a runner coming through, just leave it alone.
Yeah, well, that's what Ferdinand was saying. He was saying, listen, you might not be able to do it, stop him every time. He goes, but that's why you tell your teammates, listen, if he gets in, you got to be right behind me to stop him from shooting, because obviously... He's saying, they're elite players. They're going to be able to get you, beat you. That's what they do. They're, so Chris reckons Kane disappointed me. How could he leave? We'll talk about that, man. Don't worry. We'll get your thoughts in a second. But yeah, so it wasn't, we spoke about it on Saturday. A bit like the Man United game, I thought he had it all mixed up because he had Havertz, Rice, Odegaard and Partey all on the field. Partey started at right back, but then he ended up playing 4 centre midfielders. Yeah. It was weird.
But the thing is, Pep's done that as well with putting all these attacking midfielders out of position.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. And we'll get to a talk about it. Mason Mount was put alongside Casemiro. It doesn't work.
Yeah, I agree. Like it's, I was saying that to John today. We were talking about it, and I was saying, listen, I know what Ten Hag wants to do. He wants to play that 4-3-3 with the one, you know, you were talking tactics terms, the one number 6 and the two 8s or 2 10s. He wants to play that.
Yeah.
But you can't always do it. That's the thing. Before we keep going, guys, I promised Reborn. He's just come in the chat, and he wasn't going to come. He wasn't going to come today, so I'll get on to that. Reborn was not going to come in today, and I told him come into the show. I said because I will definitely make a note of it. He sent me a message yesterday. Reborn's nan passed away yesterday or the day before. And I told him the HFD family gave our biggest condolences out to him. He said he wasn't going to be on social media for it, but Reborn is a big part of the HFD fam, so huge condolences to him. And he's come and made an appearance, even though he wasn't maybe feeling up to it, because I told him that we would do that for him, and I didn't say a word to anyone else because I wasn't sure he was coming. But yeah, deepest condolences out to you, Reborn, from the HFD fam.
Yeah, I second that. Thanks.
Yeah, and Reborn says, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All the best, Reeds. Yeah, all the best, mate.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? It's funny, you know, like, Reborn, I know I've always used, I always use soccer as a way to get me through things like that. I don't know about other people, but either playing it, watching it, I think it helps you get your mind off things like that. So, whatever you can do, it's good for it. But yeah, back to it. Yeah, like what I was saying, that the thing, like, what Ten Hag wants to do with that. Like I said, have the 6 and the 2 8s. Like, obviously Arteta's trying to do it. Guardiola can sort of say he's done it because he's got trophies to show that it works when he plays Bernardo there and that. Whether it's going to work for the other, I didn't even know Havertz was on the pitch, like in the Arsenal game. I said it to you during the watch along. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's from when you look at it as a coaching point of view as well. Like you've coached, it's sometimes I know Casemiro is one of the best defensive midfielders in the world, like Rodri is, but sometimes they need another player with them. It's hard to do that job by yourself, especially against good teams.
And that's why you've got to play with formations. And a lot of coaches I saw were doing 4-2-3-1 on the weekend.
Yeah, I think it's a popular one.
That seems to be a bit more popular this time around than it was this time last year.
Yeah. Well, getting onto that, the next one I want to talk about was Chelsea-Liverpool. See, watching Liverpool, they do not have one defensive-minded midfielder playing. So I don't know how. I mean, Chelsea ended up having, I think, a way more possession than them. I know they had chances and that, but Klopp has been there for 6-7 years. Pochettino's only been there 2 months, and his team looked, almost as settled as Klopp's. That's the scary thing, I think, for Liverpool. But he doesn't have a defensive mind. He's got McAllister sitting by himself, which I think is, it's crazy. I mean, he's a good player, but it's just not his role.
I didn't see much. The comment I made about that, Chelsea seemed like they're playing like a team.
Yeah,
Liverpool did not seem like they were playing like a team. I did not see them working hard for each other. Klopp's got some work to do, which is strange, as you said, given Pochettino's had the team for 5 minutes and Klopp's been there 7 years.
I agree.
Yeah.
In touching on it, so Chelsea have now broken the British transfer record for Moisés Caicedo. And we spoke about this, me and John were speaking about it. Listen, to me, he's not worth that much money, but that's where football's going. But I think if Caicedo had been at Chelsea for a couple of weeks and played, Chelsea would have beat Liverpool because they would have had that extra workman-like midfielder.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know about you. To me, a guy that's done it for 1 year at Brighton, 105 million. That's excessive for me. I don't know what you think about that.
That's insane. That's insane. I mean, well, I don't think any player's worth that, and
No, I agree.
put
Yeah, I agree.
Haaland. I put Haaland in that group as well. But I guess getting back to Chelsea, what impressed me was Reece James's leadership
Yeah, I think it's good.
on the park. Jackson, who I predicted will be a bit of a breakout star,
He looked good.
he didn't score, but he
He's
looked.
just got to sort his finishing out, I think.
Yeah, every time he gets on the ball, it's a bit like a Langer. I almost compare the two.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
you're on your edge of your seat when you watch when they get the ball in that final third.
Yeah, I know what you mean. John goes, I'd swap. He goes, I'd swap the Arsenal and Man United players. So he obviously thinks Arsenal got a better squad. Reborn says also, how the fuck are Chelsea able to spend this much money? He goes, is there a points deduction? Like something's got to happen. Listen, I don't know what they're doing. Apparently, I don't know how. Rob probably knows better than me. FIFA make these rules that they never police, and they're either gutless or they don't even care. Like it's. I don't know how. It makes no sense.
This official financial fair play rule, there are so many creative ways around it.
Exactly.
Basically, it means you can only pay for something that you can justify the money's coming in regularly, etc., and you can meet your debt repayments and all that type of thing. There's ways around it, I think.
I think they put him on an 8-year contract. Somehow that is a way around it or something. They were saying. I don't know. Zakal has given Reborn his condolences about his grandmother. Thanks, Zakal, and Reborn says thanks for that as well.
Thanks, Zakal.
Yeah, I mean it's weird, and like FIFA. I mean, FIFA isn't the most. I don't know what the correct word is for it. They're not the most straight shooters, are they? You know, so are they going to go police something that, when they're so corrupt? I mean, it's just a blunt way of putting it. Like, are they going to go police something? It doesn't make sense to me. So, I don't know, but.
Oh, seriously, I saw enough strange refereeing decisions in the Women's World Cup.
Yeah, well, there you go.
There you go. I shook my head in dismay. So, you can't have two co-hosts exiting in the round of 16. One's got to go through.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Sure enough.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Anyway.
But yeah, so I mean,
allegedly,
like two London clubs have effectively spent. Arsenal bought Rice for 100 million. Chelsea have bought Caicedo for 105. And like I was saying this as well to John about like Rice. Like I think Rice is a good player, but is he that much better than Partey to spend 100 million on him?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I don't think Rice did a lot.
No, he didn't do much.
And maybe the mixes confuse things a little, and they need to get used to it. So, but Nottingham Forest could have stolen a point, if not the game.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And that's a worry.
The thing about a lot of those players is like Rice in particular is managers buy them for what they're good at, and then play them in a different role. Like he was known to be a defensive midfielder that breaks up play. He's not a goal scorer. But then Arteta gets him and plays him further forward. So and then when people say, "Oh, he didn't work out, he didn't do this," it's like, well, that's not what they bought him for. They bought him to be a defensive midfielder, and So and I think Pochettino is going to do well with Caicedo because I think he's going to get him and play him where he's meant to play because Pochettino is a good developer of players, I believe. So.
And Pochettino knows he's already coached in the Premier League. He knows the teams. He knows the opposition. He settles far more quickly. I still stand by prediction. So
why not?
I just don't think I've got a chance to actually qualify my comments. 4 titles in a row is nigh impossible. And with
I agree.
all those
it is
international players, they've got the World Club Cup. They've got, the Champions League. They've got the international qualification for Euros. I don't think we'll have the depth. I still don't think we'll have the depth to win the games we need to. And that just means players also might save themselves a little bit in games because they want to get to Euro 2024.
Exactly. There's a major tournament at the end. When I remember one year when we won the Champions League, Alex Ferguson pulled out of the FA Cup because he didn't want to play in an extra tournament because it was too many games. Yeah. So, and I remember he copped it for it at the time, but in his mind, it was the right thing. It was. I agree. It's very 4 in a row is going to be. Listen, they do it. They obviously deserve it, but yeah, I agree. It's nigh on impossible, but if anyone can do it, they can do it. I'm sure.
What scared me when I looked at the Chelsea bench, because you had a whole heap of players, Cucurella and Mudryk, and quite a few other players on the bench. They also have depth.
Yeah, they do.
And they don't have Europe.
Yeah, no, that's what I said. They got a massive squad, and they're playing once a week. Yep. And the last time that happened with Chelsea, Conte won the league. So, and I'm not saying Pochettino's as good as Conte, whatever, but I mean, he's a good manager. So
I'll be very surprised if they don't finish top 4. Very surprised.
Oh, I agree. Like I was saying, like Pochettino, people might say, Conte is way better than him, but Pochettino got to a Champions League final with Tottenham. Conte's never been to a Champions League final with anyone. So, John says, does financial fair play even exist? I probably not. Like, I don't think so, but who knows? I think the clubs just use it as an excuse now not to spend money. They're like, financial fair plays. Officially, yeah, it does, but where are the sanctions?
Man City have still got 115 charges they've got to answer.
Exactly.
We'll see how that goes.
That's right. Like Johnny's saying, the Glazers love it, and that's what I mean. Like there's owners, like the Tottenham owner, the Glazers, that they're like, we can't spend because of financial fair play when it's a load of crap. Like Todd Bowley's showing it with Chelsea. So,
yeah.
But I'm a bit unsure about Liverpool. I agree with you. Like I said, their defense isn't as good as it was, and they've just got no backup. If Van Dijk gets injured, I'm not sure about Konate. It's just, I don't know. It's like Reborn is saying now, I don't think we'll sign anyone else. The Caicedo stuff was all smokescreen. Klopp is going to play Gakpo in midfield. He goes, it's embarrassing. So there you go.
I think Cody Gakpo as attacking midfielder is actually probably a better idea.
Yeah, I think he's okay for an attacking midfielder. Yeah.
Salah is. I just think they should sell him now.
Well, I said that on the prediction show, didn't I? And I think you agreed with me. Salah's that 1 year older, which in terms of these elite levels, we've seen with many players how that extra year it could. We don't know what it could do to him, and he had a sook when he come off on the weekend. Like he didn't even shake Klopp's hand. It's like,
no, I saw that.
Like, give me a break, seriously. Yeah, Reborn saying he was pissed at being sub. So
he was fuming. Well, guess what, mate? You didn't deliver. You're not good enough.
Didn't do anything. That's right. John goes, we are playing Mount centre midfield. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, I agree with you, John. Mount and KP and I were talking, watching the Arsenal game. I think we heard Havertz's name twice, and I think Mount we heard about the same amount of time.
Yeah, he didn't do anything, but we'll definitely touch on that. But Mount did nothing. But the next game we can touch on as well, because it's the other massive transfer we can talk about. Harry Kane joins Bayern Munich for 100 million. So there's been 300 million pound players involved in Premier League transfers, 2 to clubs, 1 gone.
Yeah.
So I think Ange knew he wasn't going to have him because he said it in the press conference the day before.
Yeah.
They played okay, but I'm a bit worried for Tottenham, just like I said to you before we went live. I just don't think his squad's good enough, and are they going to let him spend any of this money? Who knows? But what did you think of the actual game?
That's the question. Ange has got this money. The game itself, it didn't look like Son, who's been promoted to captain. I didn't see any leadership qualities in him at all.
Is he captain of his country?
He captained South Korea, and he does step up. but he didn't step up for Tottenham. I just didn't see anything from him.
Yeah, I agree.
There were two defensive mistakes for the Brentford goals, a bit sloppy. They didn't seem to be playing the Ange way, and Ange transferred early enough. They should be playing a lot more. So I don't know whether or not even listening to him at this stage, and that's a bit of a concern.
I hope for Ange that it's sort of like what happened with Ten Hag last year. Eric Ten Hag came in and he realised maybe the team he had couldn't play Ten Hag way, so he tweaked it a bit. Maybe that's what I hope Ange is doing because, I mean, his defence is still pretty bad. The midfield ain't nothing to be like hyping about as well. Like, he didn't play Højbjerg. He didn't play a lot of those slow players, the Dyers, Højbjergs and that. So he went for a bit of a quicker team, but Romero scored a goal and had to go off with concussion, which I didn't know what was going on. So he did lose his starting centre back.
And Ange substituted his captain.
Yeah.
He took Son off. Bit of a statement.
Well, I think Ange is proving that he's not going to hold punches, isn't he? He's been like that his whole career, hasn't he? As we know as Australians, he doesn't hold back, does he? He's like that.
Well, it's about results, man.
Yeah, I agree. Kane's son could be eligible to play for Germany.
I'm just reading.
Could you imagine that? A Kane scoring against England for Germany? That'd be hilarious. But yeah, I think the main part is, like you said as well, is he going to get any of that money? I don't know. If he doesn't,
he could get two good defenders.
Yeah.
just touch on. I'm unfortunate for Jurrien Timber for Arsenal.
Yeah, I didn't speak about that, so I forgot about that. He went. I don't know what happened, but when you get injured when no one's around you, that's not a good thing. I know that personally.
It's not. And so do I.
I mean, I haven't done it per se, but I know from playing, you get injured when no one's around you, that's not a good thing. So
no, it's not. It's not. So, being an Ajax man, there's a scarf back there.
You're Dutch, so you gotta,
Jurrien's an Ajax boy, so I wish him the best.
He's a good player too, I think. I don't know, it's weird. Arteta's playing him left back. I don't know what's going on there, but I don't know. It's weird. But he did okay. He did the job. You play...
the Dutch players can play anywhere, man.
Well, remember I was saying... I think I said that to you once about, like, Dennis Irwin. Alex Ferguson used to say he's the best right back and left back in the league. He goes, I'll put him either side. It doesn't matter. If he knows how to play one way, he'll play the other side. Yeah. And that's what I always say about wingers. I always say it to John. I'm like, if this guy can play left wing, he should be able to play right wing because it's the same fucking thing, But, that's how they are these days. They get trained into positions, and which is unfortunate. Yeah. But as you know, Ajax don't do that. Ajax will train you to play everywhere, which is why they got one of the best schools. That's right.
They rotate players around.
That's right. Yeah, so, I don't know. Tottenham next week have got United, so that's a huge thing for Ange, getting to manage against Man United and for him personally, but we'll touch on United a bit after. I mean, Ange should go in confident after watching United. If I was him, I'd want to get something from it. It's at home.
Yeah, I'm actually tipping United to win 3-1.
United to win 3-1. Yeah, I think United will. I think we will beat them after watching them both, because I don't think. Well, we can touch on that now. We can go to the United game. United won 1-0, and I was saying it to John today. We struggle against Wolves since they've been back in the league. Every game is, and I was going through it. The most we've ever scored against them is 2-0. It's either been 1-0, 1-1. 1-1, 0-0, 0-0, 1-0, 1-0. Yeah. We always struggle against them. They're a bit of a bogey team for us. For whatever reason, they I don't know what it is, and I don't think Tottenham have that dynamism about them like Wolves do to counter like that. So, I don't know.
Man United lucky it wasn't 3-1, man.
Oh, big time.
Couldn't you miss 3 chances?
Big time. Neto, I don't know what he was doing. He missed... But, it's in the end, saying that John goes, we were worse than Spurs, but we won. That's the difference. Yeah. Everyone's saying it. We were so bad, so bad. And I said to John today, I remember days before anyone slandered the teams, after round one, with Sir Alex, where we would win the first 3 games 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, play like crap, and no one would say a word. Now it happens, you win, and you're still copping it. So, in the end, they got the result. They didn't play well. I know, no sugarcoating. It did not play well at all, but what mattered was we got the points. And last year, we lost the first game of the year against Brighton.
Yeah, but isn't that the sign of a good team? You don't play well, but you grind out a result.
Well, that's what I said to John today. I said, if that was Pep or Klopp, all the media would be saying, oh, that's a champion team. They won when they're not playing good. But because it's Man United, and we know that, United have so much scrutiny on them, they was shit. But if that was anyone else, they'd be saying exactly what you just said. See, I don't know. John reckons that was a penalty. Do you think that was a penalty, Onana, when he went for the ball?
Remind me again.
Well, he went to punch the ball, and the Wolves player headed it, and then Onana hit him. But he was looking up. He wasn't looking at. I don't think it was a penalty.
To me, it was a penalty, clear penalty.
You think it was a penalty as well?
Yeah, because Onana was just. It wasn't. The timing was awful.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's what got it for me. The clear penalty for me.
Yeah, John is saying that it was a penalty too, but I don't think it was. I think I've been in that situation as a striker, and the keepers take me out like that, and I get nothing. We've always been taught, keepers get looked after. That's what I thought.
Well, unfortunately that's what it is. The keepers get looked after even when they spill the ball sometimes.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. That's why maybe I'm thinking as a striker's point of view, it's how I've been clattered by keepers and just they've got nowhere near the ball, and that's maybe why I'm thinking like that. But I don't know. John reckons clear as day. Like you two are, it's 2v1 here, so I'll concede in that one.
But they thought they got the shot away. One of the arguments is
that's what I thought, because he got the shot away.
Yeah, as long as you get the shot away, clean shot, what happens afterwards? But I'm thinking you can still book him.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Well, in that, I put my red tinted glasses on. I didn't even see it. No, but there was some other games. Obviously, we're never going to be able to watch every game, but
Newcastle game.
Newcastle, that's the one I wanted to talk about. Newcastle, man.
Goodness me.
They tore Villa to shreds.
Tonali and Isak, I don't know what Eddie Howe's doing with. I know they spent some money, but comparatively not much compared to other teams. But they just ran them down. Yeah, it was just one-way traffic.
And Tonali looked good too. I didn't think this result at all. I ended up tipping them, but not like that. That was a thumping. And Tonali looked good. Yeah, he's a good player. I've watched him more so for his country.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's good. Good signing. John reckons Mount was Hess, Anthony Hess, Rashford Hess. Listen, I agree. Mount and Anthony. I think Anthony's got a lot to do. You could see when he got subbed, he was sitting there. I think Sancho comes in for him. Mount, like I said, it's his first 60 minutes. You got to give him time. And Rashford, he wasn't even playing in his position. He didn't even touch the ball. I don't know. I don't think you can have a shot at Rashford. They were not playing to his strengths in any way. So.
No, I wouldn't have a shot at Rashford either, and I would play Sancho from the beginning. And no, you're not number one, Chris.
Chris
thinks he's number one.
No. But yeah, so he was saying he's number one in the tips. Oh yeah, that's right, the tips. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Yeah. Newcastle will be interesting to see how they go once they start playing Champions League. But yeah,
next week, right? Man City, Newcastle.
Is that the game? So I got some here. I'm going to bring up a few of these on the screen.
Man
So
City, Newcastle.
what do we got here? This first one we got Nottingham Forest, Sheffield United, Fulham, Brentford, Liverpool, Bournemouth. You think Liverpool going to win? Wolves, Brighton, Spurs, United, Man City, Newcastle, Villa, Everton. Liverpool, yeah, I mean, City, Newcastle. What a game. At the Etihad?
Yep.
You confident in that?
I am confident, actually, because Man City will lose against bottom half teams when they slacken off a bit and let their minds think it's an easy game.
I think last year, even when they played Newcastle, they dispatched Newcastle twice, I think, pretty comfortably. I think Eddie Howe is a younger manager, obviously, and when he comes up against City and Liverpool and that, because Liverpool thrashed him twice last year as well, he sort of reverts, doesn't play his way, and worries more about City, so to speak, and that's what ends up losing. If he just goes in to City the way he went in against Villa, just play his game, I think he might do better. But who knows?
I think personally that Eddie Howe's got to get his players' minds in the right. I think they're intimidated.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's what I mean. Like, if something happens, I don't know. Like, but definitely they go into the games because they got like Liverpool weren't even playing good last year. I remember they'd lost 4 or 5 in a row, and I remember they played Newcastle and thrashed them, and Newcastle were flying. So
yeah,
when they play those, Klopp and Guardiola could just be a lot better managers than him, and it's fine margins when it comes to the elite football as we know. But I tell you what, if he can go get a result at the Etihad, that'll shake things up.
It would, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It's going to be. I don't think it's a midfield battle. I just think it's about defense and finishing.
Yeah. Do you see either of these managers signing anyone else before the transfer window's up? I think Newcastle may.
Pep's looking at Jeremy. What's his name? From Rennes, really up to replace Mahrez.
Oh yeah.
Jeremy Doku.
Yeah. I saw that, and I saw he was looking at that kid from Leverkusen. I think it is as well, Florian Wirtz.
Yes.
A bit of a similar player as well, but that could just be paper talk. Who knows?
I know they extended Rico Lewis his contract for another few years.
Yeah.
But I think he needs a replacement. He wants a replacement for Mahrez.
Yeah, I think he needs it. I think he needs it, yeah.
It sort of suggests, because Bernardo Silva is still 50-50.
Yeah, you don't know what's happening with him, do you?
PSG have put their hands up. Barcelona have put their hands up. So who knows? Man City is conscious of that. Foden, Grealish didn't play on the weekend either. And
no, he didn't play. I think he's still celebrating. They found him in his kit from the Champions League final. I was watching a thing. They were saying there was no cameras allowed around Grealish. Was there for 3 days? I think they said to Ferdinand, they go, have you ever been on a bender where 3 days later you were still in your kit? Because he still had his shin pads in. I'm like, mate, like, right.
Look, I've got a lot of respect for Grealish, because I know he actually, in Manchester, when Man City fans ordered a new kit, he went out with Amazon and delivered them personally.
I've watched the thing with him. He's a real nice guy, man. Like, he's got a sister that's got cerebral palsy, and so he goes out to all the kids. There's this kid from Manchester that's like loves him, and he went and like saw him personally, like made his world, like just rocked up one day, and like he goes, "Hey, go on, man!" Like didn't tell him, and the kid looked up and just freaked out. It's like,
yeah,
I think he's a real nice guy, which is
But Haaland prefers him to Foden, so we'll see how that goes. If Foden doesn't lift his team spirit, because I'm thinking at least 10, 20 goals Foden cost the team last year.
Yeah, for not wanting to play it.
He already cost one or two clear-cut chances in the first game. We'll see what happens.
Well, I know it's a Premier League show, but you mentioned PSG in for Bernardo, so that's another thing we can quickly talk about. Neymar to Saudi Arabia. How did that happen? What is he thinking? I mean, I know the money, but he's arguably one of the best players in the world. Is gone to Saudi Arabia. Like,
he doesn't need the money, man.
I know, that's what I said to John today. Like, he goes, "Oh, how does it, like Mbappe? He rejects that." And I'm like, "Well, he doesn't need it. Like, he's on £500,000 a week anyway. Like, what's the difference? Like, I don't know, man. For me, if he ever wanted to go down as a great, like, I'm not saying he would have, I think that's ruined his legacy there. Because he went to PSG from Barcelona because he wasn't happy that he was second fiddle to Messi, and he went to a lesser league. If he had just stayed at Barca, he would have been considered a way greater player than he's going to be remembered now. And this has even tarnished it more. Like, I get Cristiano Ronaldo. He's 38. I get that. Yeah, they're offering him billions of dollars. He's 38 years old. That makes sense. But Neymar, far out. He's arguably in his prime. Like, yeah,
he should. Yeah, and he should be playing Champions League. He should be
100%
playing for his country and all of that, and not the Saudi business. I don't get it.
Like, I know, this is what I'd tell him. I say he needs people around him that got to bring him to earth, I think, and say, "Mate, listen, I know you think you're Ronaldo and Messi, but you haven't won anything near what they've won. They've won everything. They've got 11 Ballon d'Ors between them, and they're 37. That's why they've done this. I don't know. I think it's ruined his legacy, but that's just me."
Yeah, and Mbappe now apparently has done a U-turn and will re-sign.
Well, apparently he's going to sign for a year,
so
he doesn't go for free. Yeah. So I mean, that's okay. I get that. Fair enough. He's told him, "I want to go to Madrid. I'll sign as long as you let me go next year." Which, I mean, Ronaldo did that with Ferguson. Ferguson said to him, "Give me one more year and I'll let you go." And he said, "Okay." Did it. He won a Ballon d'Or and left. Yeah. So I don't mind that, but.
I just want to pick on the legal law side of thing. One thing that's the referees have been told is to start issuing yellow cards for players that are complaining and surrounding them, as well as the coaches complaining.
Yeah, well, I saw what's his name got O'Neill against United got booked about the penalty decision straight away. Like,
yep. So they've been told to clamp down on that. I don't know why.
So what's the stoppage time thing? Can you fill us in that? What's going on with it? Is it they're going to the World Cup thing? I don't.
Yeah, look, they think the World Cup thing was a success, and extended stoppages, including because on average, if someone gets a corner, you lose 30 seconds. If someone gets a free kick outside the 18-yard box, that's about a minute.
Yeah. Well,
standing around getting a
the best centre back in the league, Rafael Varane, said he wasn't happy about it. He said they're not thinking about player safety.
It's an extra 20 minutes. What annoys me more is this not putting the flag up for a clear offside, and that endangers the safety of the players.
Yeah.
A tackle or this or that. Oh, no, it's all right. I was offside 5 minutes ago. No worries.
Yeah, well, you know what's so funny about that? Let's just say Haaland's through on goal, right? And he was clearly offside, and someone comes through and breaks his leg, and they go, "No, it was offside. It doesn't matter." So he gets injured. He's out for 6 months. The other guy won't get a red card because it wasn't part of play. Yeah, I agree. It happened this morning with United. Rashford was through, and they let him run from halfway with the ball full speed. He got to the goal, had a shot, and then they go offside. Well, he could have done his hamstring. Yeah. Or got tackled, like you said. Yeah, I agree. I don't like that.
But look, 10 minutes plus for each half. That's insane.
You're pretty much playing extra time every week.
I always say that as a player, if you can't score or win the game in an hour and a half, guess what? You're not good enough.
You don't deserve to win. Yeah, I mean, listen, obviously there's games that are, going to be tightly contested, going to be 0-0 and that, but as a player, from a player's point of view, I don't want to be playing extra time every week. That's ridiculous. That's like playing a cup final where you've gone to penalties every week. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and that's where cramp, you're right, injury, all those things. Some of these international players are playing 50, 60 games as it is. Now you're going to add an extra 20% to that. Is my maths right? Yes, it is.
Yeah, but I'm not going to question your maths.
But that's like extra 20% is like an extra 10 to 15 games equivalent.
Exactly.
Are you kidding me?
Well, like I said, Varane commented on it, and I know he's retired from international football at the moment to focus on club, but he said he's not happy about it. He goes, this is not looking out for player safety. So you got a guy that's won 4 Champions Leagues, won the World Cup saying it. I don't know, but it's weird one.
That's where I think the international teams like Man City, Arsenal, perhaps, Man United, they might struggle this season because of the demands on the players.
Do you think you'll see more players doing what Varane has done and retiring from international?
Yep.
Because they want a break.
Only if they think they've reached a pinnacle. And Varane's a classic case. He's won the World Cup.
Yeah.
Or you win Euros or something like that. Yeah. And even the opposite might happen, where if they win the Champions League, they might actually go to, I don't know, let's just say the Dutch, Scottish or French First Division and concentrate on playing for your country, knowing you've already won club stuff. It might work the other way as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. Damn says Dr. Laz is wild.
Hang on. Let's see if I can do an impression. Hang on. By Grabthar's hammer. What a saving.
I reckon you got it good. I'll put it up and see how correct it was.
By Grabthar's hammer. What a savings.
Oh, Alan Rickman, what a legend.
He tops it. He's great.
Yeah, that's actually really good. You reckon that it was? So I mean, it was an interesting first week, but I'll tell you what, like I said, if Newcastle get a result against City, that'll really shake things up this week. And I agree with you. I think United will beat Tottenham, even though it's at Tottenham, which, I mean, is good for me as a United fan. It's not good for Ange. You want to see him start getting some results. What are these other ones? I'll bring these up. So,
what have we got?
Liverpool, this fixture last year, Liverpool won 9-0. So,
yeah, that won't happen again.
I'm not saying that'll happen, but you think they'll beat Bournemouth at Anfield?
Well, Nottingham Forest.
Aston Villa, Everton. I think Villa will win.
Yep. Nottingham Forest, Sheffield will be interesting. I think.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Luton, Burnley, the promos. We'll see what happens there. Wolves.
And then this is the next one I got. West Ham, Chelsea. I think is the last game. West Ham, Chelsea.
Because we've got an international break coming up in September as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, West Ham, Chelsea is that next one. So, I mean, I think Chelsea will beat West Ham. I said I think Moyes. You got it right with Lopetegui. I think Moyes. He loses a couple games. I think he's next. West
Ham, and I'm thinking Roy Hodgson, Crystal Palace. But he jagged a win against Sheffield United.
Yeah, but Sheffield United, everyone's tipping them to just be done. Everyone is tipping them and Luton to go down. So
I don't know how he jagged a win against Sheffield United at home. At best, I would have thought it was a draw. He's got nobody.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's lost Zaha. He's lost Zaha, who has been a huge player for them for years. Yeah, he's got Eze and Olise, but that's about it. Doesn't have anything.
Oh, Man City have also got Elise on the radar as well.
I heard there's a few. Listen, he's a good player. I don't mind him. He's a bit similar to Mahrez too. Left footer on the right wing, cuts in. Pep can probably coach him a bit, which he likes doing, which is good. So
I mean, that's what Man City do. They've got a first choice, second choice, and third choice.
oh man, but like you said, they're playing World Club Cup this year. You play League, Champions League, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, World Club Cup. So they're in. I mean, I don't know what people think of the World Club Cup, but you're effectively in 5 competitions.
And the internationals, where most of the players will be.
Exactly. I think to his team, every player you go through them is an international. Kyle Walker is, Gvardiol is, Diaz is, Stones is, Akanji is, Laporte is still there. He is. The midfielders all are. That's the one I heard people looking at Laporte. Laporte might leave City.
Yep.
So,
Right.
I mean, I'd take Laporte if I was another team.
Yeah, he's a good player, but Akanji's quicker, Guardiola's quicker, and both Akanji and Guardiola are also younger.
Yeah, they're younger. I know. I get what he's doing. He's being that ruthless type of.
Yeah.
What you have to be as a manager, I guess. So.
And Rico Lewis is 19.
Yeah, he's good.
And he can play left or right fullback as well.
Yeah, I don't mind him.
So, yeah, he wasn't out of his depth last year. So keep nurturing him, and you've got another player for 10 years.
Yeah, I agree. So, what do we got, man? What's a shock? What's a result of the weekend? You reckon? If I bring some of them up.
Let's have a look. What would be a shock is a Newcastle win,
or even Wolves to beat Brighton. If Wolves beat Brighton, that'd be. See, you know what? I didn't talk about them. I want to talk about them a bit. Sorry, I watched their game. I know they played Luton. I know they played Luton, but they lost Caicedo, McAllister, Sanchez is gone. I mean, their whole and Colwell that went back to Chelsea. He started for Chelsea, the centre back. So they've lost a goalkeeper, a centre back, 2 centre midfielders, effectively the spine of their team.
And halfway through last year,
they come out and smashed Luton.
Halfway through last year, they lost Trossard. Remember?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So they've effectively. So he's from the front down. They've lost a striker, 2 centre midfielders, a centre back, and a goalkeeper. That's your spine. And they still come out and played amazingly. I know it was Luton, but still, he must be a good coach.
He must be. And I made a comment about just, I said to Serby, he's doing it again. He put young Ferguson up front. Oh, that's right. Man City are looking at Matoma as well. There's another one.
Yeah, I heard that one. Ferguson came off the bench and scored. He bought João Pedro from Watford. He scored, albeit a penalty, but he got the penalty. And then Ferguson came off the bench, scored.
Yep.
So...
It just looked like, look, this could be a draw. And then Brighton just kept going and going. And then all of a sudden, 2, 3, 4.
And their first goal was a real nice goal too. Like Matoma got it in a place where you see so many players want to get it and shoot. Corner of the box. He just chipped it in. Solly March, just great header. It was, I remember like Juan Mata used to do that ball. He used to cut in at the top of the box and just chip it over with his left foot, from the right flank. And because you can run onto it, it's such an easy header. You can get power on it because of the way it's coming. And it was, like I said, I know it's Luton, but they still come out and dispatch the team like it was nothing. So,
yeah, they did.
So
that'll be.
Chris says if anyone wants any tipping tips to come see him, he reckons he's the best. Round 1, he reckons is done. Dan reckons must have learnt from him.
I expect your tips in, Chris, so we can copy you, mate. Thank you.
Yeah. Listen. Round 1, man. Round 1. Don't get too excited. I'm not going to tell you any more tips, Chris.
Can Ken deliver a flag?
They're talking about footy.
Oh, geez, wrong shaped ball, damn.
Yeah, wrong shaped ball, man. We don't care about that one now. But yeah, I think if Wolves can get a win, where are they? I'll bring those fixtures again. If Wolves can get a win against Brighton, that'd be massive. Which, and if Newcastle, I said if they can get a win, the rest of them are pretty. Fulham Brentford might be a close game. It's at Craven Cottage, so I don't know that might be close.
Everton look bad. Oh, that's something I was going to say. Mitrovic said he'll never play for Fulham again.
I know. John said that to me. I'm like, I know.
He came on. I saw him come on.
Yeah, I saw him too. But you know what? The Fulham they've got two capable strikers then. If Mitrovic is onside, you got Jimenez, Mitrovic.
Yep.
That's.
Well, the thing is,
pretty good.
Mitrovic. The thing is, Mitrovic says, "Look, mate, you keep match fit and keep performing. Your price is going to go up. Your salary's going to go up. So you're doing yourself a disservice."
I was saying that to John. I was saying, if I was the manager, I was saying if that was Alex Ferguson, and he said, "I'm never going to play for you again because I want to go to Saudi," I would have said, "Man, you're going to the reserves. I'll sell you, but I'm selling you to someone else. You go where I tell you to go. You do what you're playing for this club. If I want to sell you, I'll sell you to Everton. I don't have to sell you to where you want to go. And if you want to go on strike, do it. Go right in the reserves and lose your career." And that's what the big managers would have done.
Yeah.
And, you think that the players have the power like that? It's ridiculous. They've got too much power now.
No one is bigger than a club. And the boards and the CEOs have to back their coach in that.
Oh, because 100%. They did this with Pogba.
These clubs are a business. And sorry, but I'll get as much as I can for you, and I'll sell you one, or you perform one of the two. Well, that's it, because it's a business.
I remember they did it with United with Pogba. He downed tools, said, "I don't like Mourinho," so they sacked the manager. They give the players so much power. They should have let Mourinho say to him, "You know what? Go there, mate. I don't even want you in my squad." But they get so much power now, it's ridiculous.
Oh, just on an international note, Roberto Mancini resigned as Italy coach as well.
I saw that today. So why is that? Did he give a reason?
So I'm just waiting on a phone call. So if I get a phone call mid podcast, just
Yeah, I saw that today. Which is, do they know who's going to take over?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Conte could go. He's available, and he could go back to Italy, maybe.
Yeah, he could do.
He's nowhere. I'm trying to think. He might take him just for a tournament.
Brazil were trying to talk Carlo Ancelotti into coaching them as well.
I know.
But we'll see. I mean, he's at Real Madrid. They won on the weekend, so.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, I asked John this last week, I think it was. I'll ask you, what's your tip of the week, man? Give us a tip of the week.
Tip of the week. You're talking about a game?
Yeah, give us anything. Anything to happen. You could tip a transfer to happen. I don't
know. Jackson's going to score a hat-trick against West Ham.
Chelsea.
Yep.
Imagine you had money on that. That'd be wild. Jackson hat-trick. Well, let's look at these. I'll give one. So the last game is Palace Arsenal. I'm trying to think of a good one for this week. What do we got here?
Aston Villa.
I like the one. I'm going to go Aston Villa to do Everton like 4-0. 4-0 Aston Villa.
I'll go out there. Go on, say 5.
No, I reckon they could. Everton did not look good. And Villa have got to bounce. Villa have got to bounce back from getting smashed by Newcastle. They got to prove that because all of us have been saying it, that they're going to be good this year, and then they went and got spanked. So I think Villa could spank Everton this week.
I want to hear what Reeves has got to say about what his prediction will be for this week.
Yeah, Reeves, what's your tip of the week, man? Give us don't make it a Liverpool one either.
Yeah, no. Give us an inside give us an inside tip. Maybe you've heard something from the blue side of Liverpool.
Well, he said, Reborn said, obviously he's over there, he's got, the English papers and that, and he reckons Liverpool are not going to sign another player, that's big. I mean, they need a defensive-minded midfielder. What are they in this year? They're in the Europa, aren't they?
Yeah, and the loss of Henderson will be felt.
Oh, yeah.
I thought Van Dijk played much better than he has done.
Yeah, he looked good. Reborn says, hopefully, Man, you lose. Don't say that, Reborn.
Well, he's backing an Aussie. On you, Reed.
Yeah, good. But until when Australia beat England tomorrow, he'll stop backing the Aussies. What's the prediction for that? We'll go off on that. See, it's not a Premier League thing, but Australia going to win tomorrow?
1-0.
1-0?
I think 1-0.
Sam Kerr?
No, I reckon it'll be a penalty.
Penalty? Well, she might. What did she take? If she starts, will she take it?
Sam Kerr?
It might arguably be her first start, wouldn't it?
It would be her first start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He says, I don't mind if Australia or England win, Reborn says. There you go.
Yeah, wow. I predicted a 2-1 score today, but I got the teams wrong, ran the wrong way.
Well, when me and Chris were looking at it before, 70th minute it was 0-0, and then it ended up being 2-1.
2-1.
Yeah, I'm saying, but when I was looking at it, it was 0-0, and then all these goals come out of nowhere.
Yeah,
I was actually talking to, you come and watched us play on the weekend. I was talking to, you saw Dave Scarcella was playing for them in goals.
Yes.
Yeah, so me and him were talking after, because we used to play together.
Yeah.
He was saying to me, he goes, the one thing that's very much behind, he goes, is the goalkeepers in the women's game.
Yeah, look, they're awful. The movement off the ball is awful.
Yeah.
Absolutely awful.
He said, he goes, when I watch them, he goes, it seems like they get stage fright when they're going to tackle like the goalkeepers. He goes, it's really weird. He goes, he can't put his finger on it. And listen, he coached at a high level too, David. After he stopped playing, he was coaching at Ipswich. He went over there to try coaching, and
yeah,
it's interesting hearing him say that too.
Yeah, look, 2 or 3. Basically, my summary is where there's 9 good players in a men's team, there's 2 in a women's team that are up to scratch.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. I know what you mean.
Comparatively, take the physical thing out of it.
Yeah, the skill, the actual.
Comparatively, the Swedish goalkeeper, the Australian goalkeeper are good. The Zambian centre forward who plays for Barcelona, who won the Champions League, she was quick, strong, 2-footed, fast.
I'll tell you what, that save that the French goalkeeper made from the Australian penalty where she put her hand behind her was a cracker save. That was to keep her hand strong back here and keep it out. That was a real good save. But yeah.
And that's the thing, 32 teams and you've probably got 3 or 4 decent goalkeepers.
Yeah.
On the men's side of things, 32 teams, you probably have 29 decent goalkeepers.
Yeah, I know what you mean. GT said 81, 88 and 89th minute goals tonight. So there you go.
Yeah, it was.
She only just came on. They subbed her for penalties. That's true, Reeves. That's true.
But the girl they put on for Spain, they brought her on as a sub before and she scored this tournament. She's done it twice.
Yeah, okay. Well, we've had our prediction. Rob reckons 1-0. I'll go with Rob. 1-0, I reckon. I reckon Australia will scrape through. So, thanks everyone for coming in. Reborn, GT, Chris, Dan, everyone that's there. Next week, we'll try get John is back available Mondays because his night shift is finished. We'll try to get all 3 of us, I reckon, on Monday night. So we can have a look at the game with all 3 of us.
Is there any Monday night game though?
There may be, but I think it's that last one. I'll just bring it up. I
can't remember.
I'll just bring it up. I think it's the Arsenal Palace one.
Palace.
But we'll just, we'll just leave that one out. But we'll go Monday.
Yeah.
Hopefully, all three of us can come on, guys. We'll be here, and we can. John can do his first review of the year of games since he wasn't here tonight as well, and it'd be good. We're having three of us on the show for the first time this year as well. But thanks for coming on, Rob. Any final thoughts?
No, just glad this is all back again. So, and we've got in this little part of our world, Reeves may not appreciate this, but timing to watch the games because of daylight saving and all that's great this time of year. So
yeah, getting these 9:30 and 10:30 games are good at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah. So we got that for a couple of months.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. It was a great show. We will see you Monday night next week. It should be all three of us. Take care.
See you guys.